Thank you, Governor. Our next speaker is Lorraine Loomis. Lorraine Loomis is sort of the right-hand part of Billy Frank at Northwest Indian Fisheries Commission. And Billy would never have liked all of these accolades that he did this. He would have said, we did this, and Lorraine is a big part of the we.
Thanks, Bobby, and good morning. It's a hard time for all of us, but it is my honor today to speak about the greatest fishing activist in time, Billy Frank. I've had the pleasure of working for Billy for 40 years, and we have fought to ensure that fishing rights in our culture was here for generations to come. Billy has a passion for natives all over. It stretches into all over the United States to Canada. It's I love to travel with Billy. It was like traveling with the president, because wherever we went, he was honored and he treated like royalty. Recently, as Dick was talking about earlier, I was lucky enough to go to Hawaii with Billy. I didn't know then that it was our last journey together. It was a time that I shall never forget, and I can see why he loved Hawaii so much. Their culture is the same as ours. Their prayers, their honor, their respect. I will always cherish the memories of that trip. I would like to just say one thing to the commission, to Mike and Lois and all of the commission staff. I want to say thank you for your dedication, your hard work, and your efforts to ensure that Billy was well. It is appreciated by all of the commissioners and all of the tribes. And I want to say to Billy's family, and especially Willie and Pagan, thank you so much for sharing this great man with us. We have had him for a long time. And most of all, I want to say to my dear friend Billy that the commission may be broken right now, but we will find a way to come back and to work harder for you, Billy. We will continue to fight, and we will win for you, Billy. And Billy, we will recover our salmon. I just want to say farewell, my friend, until we meet again. I thank you, Billy, for all you've done for Indian country. I love you, Billy.
Our next speaker is Keith Harper. Keith?
Well, first I'd like to thank the Squaxin Island Tribe for holding this celebration of the life of a great soul, Billy Frank. I'm honored to be here today to speak about Billy, but I'm more honored still because he is one of my heroes, and I can also call him a friend. We are here today because we recognize with pronounced clarity the incalculable loss of all that was Billy Frank Jr. There is something in the communion such as this with others that offers a salve, however inadequate, to modestly address the profound heartbreak we feel. I see NCI President Brian Clattersby a moment ago, and it reminds me of the last time I saw Billy. It was at the celebration of his birthday at Swinomish. And as always, he was smiling, he was happy, he was Billy. And I remember after leaving there thinking, wow, I'm really glad that we're able to celebrate his life while he's with us, not knowing that that would be the last time that I saw him. Because what people of my generation know is that we owe so much to those who came before us. Billy, I saw Hank Adams a moment ago, Maisel, and so many others of our leaders of that generation. The contributions that you have made form the foundation for the opportunities that Native people have today, plain and simple. And Billy was a leader throughout. And so it's a mixture of profound gratitude and unfathomable sadness that we are joined today to say goodbye to a friend, a hero, an icon, and an uncle. How do we measure a man? Certainly, if you look at the work that they've done, Billy would be an MVP. The salmon are more plentiful today because of Billy. The water is cleaner because of Billy. Our treaties are more respected today because of Billy. And tribal sovereignty is more secure today because of Billy. On issue after issue, he spent a lifetime fighting for those things that he believed in and made Indian country and this nation stronger for it. But there's another way to measure a man, and in this way too, I think Billy stands apart. What does their life teach you? What do they, by just being who they are, teach you? As I was flying out here from Washington, the other Washington, last night, I was trying to think of the word that best captured Billy Frank. Of course, no single word would be adequate, but the one that came closest, in my view, is humanity. Billy brought humanity to every encounter. He treated everyone with great humanity. I mean, I first met Billy in the early 1990s, fresh out of law school. He was already a hero of mine. I've known, of course, of his legend, of the things he did here and elsewhere. And, you know, he treated me the same as he treated tribal leaders or senators or congressmen. He told me how glad he was to see our people, Native people, becoming lawyers and advocating for our communities. That, from somebody that you hold in that kind of great esteem at that level, at that time of my career, was remarkable. But that's the way he was. It didn't matter if you were a student or whomever. He had a hug for everybody. When I later worked for the landing, he and Hank Adams and I would have a lot of time sitting around, joking and telling stories. And that was, you know, a real treat. Hearing these things that people at the forefront of the battles that had been fought for decade after decade. Billy telling about how he got hauled off by state officials for fishing, or when the landing got completely flooded, but he did it with a smile, and he told that story in that way he had, with smiles and laughter. That's just the way he was. He enjoyed every aspect of life. And here's another lesson, one that I'll hold dear. You know, too often when we deal with these very difficult issues and challenges, there is a tendency to see our political opponents with a coldness. What was remarkable about Billy is that he so often didn't do that. He so often did not make his political opponents his enemies. And what I found is that there's profound wisdom in that, because so often those enemies, those opponents, later became his allies in whole or in part. We can all learn something from that, I think. Now, to be clear, it would be folly for anybody to presume his warmth and humanity were weakness. No one can get arrested 50 times for what they believe in without a great deal of strength and courage. But that's what he was willing to do. This is a man who teaches us so much because of just who he is and the life he led. And so, what I would say in closing is that we understand the gravity of this loss, but we are heartened by the knowledge that the Franks Landing Indian community is stronger today because of Billy Frank. The Native people of the Pacific Northwest have more economic security because of Billy Frank. The environment is better off because of Billy Frank. Indian country has gained great benefits because of his contributions. Our treaties are more meaningful tools to protect our culture because of his work. The nation is a better and stronger place, and that's a pretty good measure of a person. On a personal level, all I'll say is that I'll miss the hugs, I'll miss that laugh, I'll miss the stories, and I'll just miss him dearly.